Just wanted to welcome everybody back to the second video recording and summary of the Rice Trader. Of course, I'm Jeremy Zwinger, the CEO, and just a pleasure to be able to say hi to you guys and just kind of summarize the TRT and the key points through video. The first thing, of course, I want to invite you to the World Conference. We're already doing a lot of work for the October 10th conference that'll be in Vietnam. It's our 10th anniversary, and just look forward to having you all there. It should be a wonderful time as we gather the world rice industry. So as we look at the markets, and just get a quick summary, just a few minutes long, and what's happening right now. Well, obviously the Philippines are the key activity. How much are they going to trade? Will they be able to get shipments in May, like they're talking, which is causing a lot of stress, of course, in the rice industry for those who are offering, especially for the Thais and the Viets. And a lot of questions of how much and when this will occur, of course. Like we've said in our last cast, just 2 weeks ago, Bulag remains a key factor with large amounts of trade done and only certain parties doing it out of the region, but it is also keeping the market going. The one thing we've definitely seen is an increase in trade in the second quarter. The first quarter was pretty horrible, one of the worst first quarters we've seen. And towards the end of the last quarter in March and April, we've definitely had heavy shipments to catch up from our early season losses. Outside of that, of course, Iraq's coming back with a tender May 6th. Good questions of how much Iraq will continue to buy, and will the Chinese demand, as always, continue at the pace it is. Overall, the markets are being tested right now a little bit by this tender business, the Bulag business, the NFA business, and you're seeing a little appreciation in price. Outside the rice market directly, we have to, of course, talk about oil. Oil has been on a tear. Usually when oil runs, this is a huge signal that the grain prices and rice prices will run. The issue we have is that supplies are very heavy. In fact, even with the talk of winter wheat acres in Russia and Ukraine having severe reductions, as much as maybe 10 million metric tons, you still have one of the highest stocks in history of the grains, and wheat has tremendously high stocks. So it's unsure how much is really going to affect the overall market between the oil and the major things happening in the grain industry. If I just move back to the US, just for a brief instance, we are hearing acres are significantly up, much as 20%, and especially medium grain acres. We're expecting an extremely large crop in both California and the South, but the South should have at least 300,000 acres of medium grain, which will be the first time in history we've seen this type of levels from the South, and it's definitely going to affect the medium grain market. We've also seen Australians have a second good year, 800,000 tons 2 years in a row now, with their crop just coming off here in May. You'll definitely see them take over in business. And of course, the Vietnamese medium grain has been a key factor that's come on just in the last few years, with talk of being at least 1 million metric tons of exportable quantity, which could really shift the market. So we definitely see a huge increase in medium grain supplies in the coming year. That's probably going to lead to a decrease in price, even with these outside variables happening. Outside of that, it's just another good week for us. There's a lot of good information and more detail and data you'll find in the Rice Trader. I could spend another 10-20 minutes talking about it, but it's just supposed to be a summary of the Rice Trader. So with that, I'm going to sign off. And again, it's a pleasure just to be able to talk to you guys briefly, and look forward to see you next week or the week after.